Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. And, folks, do we have a treat for you today? You talk about whatever you think about, you bring about, and whatever you focus on grows. Well, you know what? We are going to be focusing today on premium wines. Our guest today is Peter Merriam. Peter and his wife run Merriam Vineyards. And Merriam Vineyards, folks, is in the heart of Sonoma County. Peter and Merriam, welcome to TFNN.
Thank you, Tom.
We really appreciate you coming on. Well, first off, I can tell you, and folks, I'm looking at his vineyard right now, and you can hit the banner on TFNN. It is absolutely, a beautiful, beautiful vineyard. How did he define the location? How does that work with the land and the climate?
Oh, well, that's job number one, is to find, a vineyard site that has some pedigree. You got to figure if this vineyard was first planted in 1890, these immigrant farmers and grape growers had a reason to be there. The vineyard, it's all about location, 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 just like retail.
Right. Now, so you have it. You get your first planting. Can you walk us through, what the maintenance process is and how long it takes you to get the grape that you wanted for, your award-winning wines?
Yes. The first thing that we did when we were looking into this vineyard site was to do a soil analysis, a total analysis of the vineyard site itself.
Yes.
With the soil analysis, we figured that, that we should add like gypsum and lime, composting, any fertilization and stuff to amend the soil composition is all done through what we call fertigation. It's through fertilizing through the drip system with the water.
Okay.
And one of the most important things that we did in 2001, the year after we purchased the vineyard site, is we went into the vineyard and retrofit the vineyard. The vineyard was already 20 years old, but in a little bit of disarray. Some of the vines themselves were inconsistent in the amount of shoots that come off from these vines. Let's say some of them had 15 to 20 shoots. What we did is brought every one of those vines, over 2,000 vines, and brought them in consistently. And by doing that, we reduced the amount of crop load on each one of the vines by 25% right off the bat. First thing we did when we got this vineyard land.
Boy, it's amazing dealing with something that's live, right? I mean, it's like it must be amazing just going out there, because I can understand kind of what you're saying there, that you're dealing with a live process, and,
right.
And you want it to be consistent and in harmony with your land, basically, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was wondering that inside the soil, do you use chemicals? Is it organic farming? How exactly do you get the wines, from the ground coming up?
Yeah, well, being a New Englander and outdoorsman and stuff, fishing and skiing and being on the outside,
yes.
One of our first concerns is the environment and stuff. And we have two different vineyard sites. Windacre Vineyard that we're talking about was first planted in 1890, so it has a lot of stuff thrown at it. And we have been gradually weaning that vineyard off from hard pesticide spraying, Roundup, and all that type of thing. So
yes.
We're sustainably farming that vineyard site. The pictures that you see of our landscaping, our
yes.
New England farmhouse, and the vineyards planted in front, that vineyard is totally organically farmed.
Okay.
As far as the weather this year, Tom, it has been one of those years. We started out with a very, very cool spring and early summer. So the vines were kind of lulled into this false sense of security, just kind of we'll get to the fall and harvest whenever,
Yes.
And then all of a sudden we got a normal heat spike that we would normally get.
Okay.
However, it was a longer duration, so it was 106, 107 degrees for 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
Which is sometimes normal. But that was followed by immediate cold weather and fog and kind of drizzly mornings. And then along comes a second heat wave of about the same, 102, 103 degrees, which really severely started to dehydrate the vineyards, the grapes, I should say.
Yes.
But it was quite an arduous harvest where we had to do a lot of hand sorting, a lot of sorting in the vineyard itself, walking each and every row and dropping off any bad fruit and stuff.
Yes.
So that the migrant workers wouldn't pick that fruit. And then also when we get it into the barn, into the facility, we also have 6 or 8 people hand sorting any bad fruit or anything else out of the good fruit.
Now, when we talk about the bad fruit versus good fruit, and it's really cool, folks, because you're going to be able to see Peter actually coming through the vineyards and clipping this off. So when you're clipping fruit off, what does bad fruit mean?
Well, when you first start out, the clusters, they go through their various stages.
Yes.
We have bud break, and then we have bloom,
okay.
Which is about 6 weeks apart. Then we get into what we call veraison, where the grapes start to change color.
Yes.
Particularly in the reds. Our first order of business is if we get a lot of cluster gathering at one point, we'll go in and what we call green harvest.
Okay.
We'll go in and drop some of the ones that are kind of behind the other ones that are going through veraison. So some, it might be a little small vine versus a good-sized rootstock vine, which isn't going to really produce that good a cluster of grapes. So we'll drop that onto the ground.
And so I think I get this for a second. Now, because that means that if there's too many on one part of the vine, is one stealing from the other, so you're looking for a better grape?
Absolutely. Our motto is that each shoot that comes off from these arms should only hang 2 clusters of fruit.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting, man. That totally makes common sense, though, right? But I never realized that in a farming structure also. I mean...
Right. Well, there's always this competition between, the wine grower and the wine maker.
Yes.
The wine maker always wants the best possible fruit, but at the cost of the farmer having to reduce crop.
That's right.
I'm on both ends of it, so I kind of have to moderate, what is a good crop load, and for our, special reserve single vineyard designated wines.